Welcome to Overcoming the Fear of Rejection Masterclass. My name is Arttemis Prime.
I'm Louis Brantmeyer.
And how many men are having challenges with rejection? Are you fearing rejection? Are you seeking
Raise a hand, one in the chat box.
Are you seeking approval from others, praise, and are you fearing rejection? And do you find yourself kind of trapped in between those two polarities? What if there was a way out? What if there's a way to walk up to any woman and not need her praise or fear her rejection? And to just be the king, to be the amazing man that you are, authentically connecting and penetrating your woman and your world with no seeking approval and praise and no seeking and no fearing rejection. And that's what this class is about today.
This applies in sales. This applies in business. This goes far beyond just women.
Now, we're going to share some things with you, gentlemen, that is super profound. Because we're not just going to be talking about your woman, we're going to be talking about your world. And we're going to be talking about a lot of the conditioning according to capitalism. Like, we make the future better than what we have now. We're always chasing more and more and more. Our society, our social media, everything that we have in our modern technology, our modern world, has conditioned us to want more and more and more and more. And it's causing a mental illness in our culture. And there's actually something called the Wizard's Gate that can help us heal the mind, enter the present moment, and be more powerful in every moment. And so this works with your woman, this works with your world. And I learned this from my mentor, Christopher Michael Duncan, who learned it from Colette Stryker, who is a modern day mystic and powerful woman in and of herself. And so, this is not my concept. This is something I learned from my teacher. It took me 18 months of integration, of meditation integration. And now my mind is free. And I love what I create.
And some of this may sound familiar, but the process we're going to use to help you embody it and shift your actual experience energetically and emotionally around it is amazing.
Yeah. So welcome everybody to the live class. Thank you for being here. We really value your time. Your time is a valuable investment, and this class is an investment into yourself, so you can free your mind. You can master the Wizard's Gate. You can penetrate the moment, and you can be more powerful with your woman in your world. That's what we're here to help you with. And this is an important concept in our program, Make Love Easy, and this is a bonus class to the Make Love Easy program, because men need to understand this principle of the Wizard's Gate and how to utilize it in their life and their creative processes with their woman and in their world. So let's do a quick screen share. Let's dive into some slides here. So we are Louis and Arttemis, helping successful men achieve the love, power, and sex they truly desire. This is how to overcome the fear of rejection, moving from surviving to thriving with your woman in your world. Part of this class is going to be slides. Part of it's going to be live interaction breath work. Part of this class is going to be, drawing on the whiteboard. And so this is interactive. If you have comments, questions, please type them in the chat. Louis is project manager, moderator.
Supporter
profile.
Blaze genius.
Yeah, and Louis is the Blaze. So he's going to be monitoring the chat box. Please give us questions. If something comes up, just type it in the chat box. We'll also be engaging with you from time to time. Stay tuned for our next masterclass, Transforming the Ego from Identity into Instrument. Free your mind and live from power instead of force. So our next class is Friday, March 31st at 6:15 to 7:45. Attract women powerfully with confidence and authenticity. Stop being a people pleaser and arrive already fulfilled and whole in your interactions with women, and free yourself from self-judgment and ineffectiveness through the simple act of changing your focus.
Put a 1 in the chat box if that sounds fun for you. We'll make sure you're on the list and invited for free.
Come join us March 31st. So we are Louis and Arttemis, and we are leading a global movement to help men achieve the love, power, and sex they truly desire.
In other words, we're here to make love easy.
Here I am. Here's Louis. And then here we are with our beloveds. This is me and my beautiful wife and children. I have an amazing marriage and family. Our sex and our love and intimacy is better now than it was 10 years ago. And I love love.
This is me in a somewhat candid shot with my beloved.
Yeah, you just had some nookie in that shot, didn't you?
Yeah.
Don't be embarrassed. Be proud. This is Louis and his beloved after having sex.
Healthiest relationship of my life. It's amazing. We are just so deep and connected and thriving.
Yeah, your life is about creating life-giving partnerships. Everyone say that. I create life-giving partnerships. Say, I create life-giving partnerships. Use your words. I create life-giving partnerships. But how many of us didn't get the skills and the tool sets to do that growing up?
Was there a class in high school or even in college on relationships? Anybody?
Yeah. Did anyone get it?
I mean, psychology is one thing, but not thriving in relationships.
Did anyone get like conscious language from their parents and conscious agreements and how to have sex with your woman and how to retain your ejaculation?
Tantra, Ayurveda.
Did anyone get
how
that
to live
growing
your
up?
edge as a man.
And most of us didn't get that growing up.
No,
Yeah.
no, none of us got that.
Most of us didn't. You know,
That's what we're teaching.
my children get it, but that's because they have a cool dad who like gets this shit. You know? Anyway, what if you could overcome the fear of rejection? What could you accomplish with your woman in the world if you knew you couldn't fail and move past any seen or unseen rejection? Think about that. Like, what risks would you take? How much more successful would you be in sales, in connecting with beautiful women? Women you thought that you weren't worthy of having from an egoic perspective, but because you knew the wizard's gate, you could approach any woman. And even if the rejection was there, you knew the power.
Have some of you seen my boldness at the Enchanters meetups? Anybody remember? Hand.
Yeah.
We've got one tomorrow night. You're all invited, by the way.
Yeah.
And that boldness comes from a lack of fear of being rejected. I simply do not give a fuck
Yeah.
what she does or doesn't do.
Now, Lewis has trained his subconscious mind through 10 years of enchantment. They used to call it seduction, but he's trained his subconscious mind to overcome that. We're going to give you a shortcut today. You know, it doesn't take 10 years to overcome the fear of rejection. So let me ask you some questions. Why do we hold back telling our woman exactly what we want in the relationship on the first date? Like, why do we hold back? Instead, we just feel like we're fumbling around and ending up people pleasing her to get what we want. Like, why aren't we direct with our woman and our world? Why do we go for what we want with our woman and world? We get close to it, and yet we back off and never achieve our ultimate goals and desires. And
We end up
right back where we started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we see that as a pattern? You go for what you want, you get really close to it, and then boom. It's like you're oscillating. Why is the subconscious pain of rejection so big that we avoid going for what we really desire in our lives? A woman comes up and she's kind of into us, and we just settle for that woman. We don't tell her what we want. We're not clear on our outcomes.
We hide what we think she doesn't want to know.
Exactly. We try to please her to get in bed with her. And then the relationship just goes south. And really, we wanted that woman over there who had that kind of beauty and these qualities. And she was actually looking for a guy like us, but we were too scared to go approach her because we were afraid of rejection.
Or maybe we're even going up to women, we're getting phone numbers, but they're not answering the phone. Why is that? Well, because somewhere in that path, we either pre-rejected ourselves or we chose someone who was going to reject us anyway. And they people pleased with us to get us out of there because they were bored.
Yeah. Why do 40% of marriages end in a divorce? Why are most relationships not sexually thriving, happy, and fulfilled?
Why did 25% of men cheat on their wives?
It's because this thing called the ego and capitalism in our society. Now, men have been cheating on women for thousands of years. Just the problem has become more extreme, and I'm going to unpack that in a little bit. So let's talk about the journey of individuation. We need to understand the journey of individuation, the 3 levels of mind, what happens when we go superconscious, and the wizard's gate. So let's dive into this. We're going to do some breath work after we talk about the journey of individuation, so we can amplify some of this.
Questions in the chat box, comments, observations. This is not Netflix. Wake up, y'all.
So we all start as pure creative spirit. We go from infinite to finite. And this is the hero's journey. This is a more specific version of the hero's journey as taught by Joseph Campbell, and also the work of Carl Jung, where Joseph got his work from.
And also Chris Duncan.
Yeah, so Carl Jung identified that when the spirit enters the body, the soul becomes a body. We go through this process called individuation, and we enter a body and we begin to form our ego around age 4 or 5. And as we form this ego, we begin to make a belief about our world. We begin to orient our entire world around this thing called ego, which is self-conscious mind. Now, you have 3 levels of your mind. You have a subconscious mind, you have a self-conscious mind, which is also known as the ego, and it's how you see the world, and you have a superconscious mind. I mean, we're going to unpack those and describe what they are in your creative process with your woman in your world. Now, in the Huna tradition, how many have heard of Kahuna in Hawaii? The Huna masters. So the Huna masters of ancient Hawaii brought their tradition from ancient Lemuria. So the Kahuna wisdom is 200,000 years old. It's actually the most rich ancient lineage of truth we have on the planet, way older than the Vedas. Although I am a yogi and I've been studying Ayurveda for 15 years and deeply value the Vedanta and the Vedic wisdom. In the Huna tradition, they call the lower self the Uhani, Unihipili, and Amakua. And the Kahuna masters had a saying, seek always alignment of the three selves, working in perfect harmony for the highest and best good of all life. And they say the way to heaven is through the earth. The way to your woman is through the subconscious. It's through mastery of the subconscious. Not that the woman is heaven, but another example of like the way to something higher, something more fulfilled, something beautiful, something higher consciousness is actually through the earth, through the lower self. Your lower self is your subconscious, your middle self is your conscious, your higher self is your superconscious. We also call it the quantum field, quantum consciousness. And you are all three of those. But how well are you using them in relationships?
Who would say you've even been aware of your superconscious self?
Yeah, superconscious is kind of a new concept, but you know, in all the mystical traditions, when they talk about entering a state of flow, a state of grace, a state of peak consciousness, that is a state of superconsciousness. And we all can access those states at will if we choose. So let's look at these three. Let's break down these three levels of the self a little bit. All right. Let's go here. Let's talk about these three levels of the self, and then we'll do some breath work. All right, so your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, which is your ego, it defines itself through thought, a personal identity, a body, and a name. You have to have a conscious mind. Without the ego, you wouldn't be able to learn and grow as a soul. So your ego is not your enemy. It's just a part of you that learns and grows. It also has some flaws to it as well that we can talk about in our next masterclass. The ego's goal is to live the best life possible. It sees things in duality and polarity.
Me versus them.
It directs our choices. It's direction without power. Your unconscious, subconscious mind is power without direction. So if your conscious mind is direction without power, I choose. Your subconscious mind is power without direction, I feel. Everyone say that, I feel.
I feel.
I choose.
I choose.
I am.
I am.
I feel.
I feel.
I choose.
I choose.
I am.
I am.
These are the three levels of the self spoken in language. And who am you? Now, the subconscious is power without direction. It defines itself through feeling. It creates programs and runs your body through automation. How you were raised in relationship with mom and dad is how you create relationships subconsciously with your woman and your world until you change it.
Because that's what's familiar. That's what's comfortable.
Yeah,
that's what you know.
It's just running automatically. Now, here's the important thing. That's why I highlighted it in yellow. Look at this. The goal of the subconscious mind is to keep the system going and desire to continue what's been working, no matter how painful to the conscious mind.
Even if it's not working very well for you in terms of thriving and fulfillment.
Yeah. And that pisses me off a little bit when I read that. Like, what do you mean? But my conscious mind wants more money, more sex, more fulfillment, more love. But if my subconscious mind doesn't have safety and security with what I desire, it's going to keep me where I am.
Yeah, it would rather have you continue to do what you've survived in the past than do something that would be new and threatens it.
Yeah.
What it's comfortable with.
Yeah. Your unconscious, subconscious mind has no discernment. It is a computer. It is programmable. It takes everything you see and hear as literal. So be careful what you put in front of your eyeballs. Get off of social media and start studying some of these mystical laws that we teach you and practice them, embody them in the dojo and in the Enchantress Meetup. Get off of consummation and start creating. Stop consuming and start creating. Start teaching your subconscious mind new things, new practices, new behaviors. Because one thing that we teach our men is that behavior is the highest form of communication with your woman and your world. So if you want to change your subconscious mind, change your behavior, change your focus, change your structure.
And do whatever it takes to remove the resistance to those new
Yeah,
behaviors.
and let go of the resistance. We're going to do some block removal today. Your superconscious mind is universal intelligence. It's quantum intelligence. It's a source of intuition. It's your highest self. It's and your imagination is the bridge between your subconscious and your superconscious. So imagination with deep feeling is how we start to connect the superconscious to subconscious. Remember, you are superconscious. Your superconscious gives you 100% of what you believe is true for you. It works with the subconscious mind with what feels safe and true to create. Or it will give you what you have patterned or coded up with you and your family. The superconscious is no polarity. It's no thought or feeling. It just is. And it gives you exactly what you believe to be true. So when you change what you believe, what happens? You have new energy to access from the field. The superconscious defines itself as a code of information. Words fall short to describe what this quantum consciousness is, but we're doing the best we can. The superconscious has access to unlimited knowledge. It is beyond time and space. It cannot think or feel. You use your superconscious to imagine and create the partnerships, business, and life you love through insight, which is inner sight, intuition, which is being guided, universal intelligence, and imagination. The powers that be don't want us to use any of this. They want us to keep us, they want, what's the saying? Our cocks empty and our bellies full.
Yeah. Yeah. So that we're not a threat to the dogmatic political and civilizational orthodoxies that are keeping us stuck and unsatisfied and unfulfilled.
So these ancient laws of Hermetic wisdom, these laws come from Hermes, Trismegistus. This understanding of the three levels of self and the art of alchemy and creation is thousands of years old. None of this information is new that we're giving you. We're just giving it to you in a way that you can digest it in the modern world. And the people that knew this and applied this, they had to teach it in secret, in guilds, in secret societies, because if the powers that be knew they were teaching it, they would be killed or crucified, go into the Bible,
or canceled.
Yeah, or canceled,
which is far worse,
or censored, And so I'm not saying there's a conspiracy out there, but maybe there is. Anyway, so you have three levels of yourself, and we're going to be accessing your superconscious mind today in this training, and helping overcome the fear of rejection. Let's go back to the slide deck. Let's do some breath work. All right. So we're going to do some breathing, just to kind of clear the mind, integrate some of that information. So let's stand up. Stand up. Place your left hand on your navel, right hand on top. And we're going to do the 9-breath healing method. We're going to do pelvic locks. And as we do this breathing technique, I'm going to demonstrate it. We're going to also combine some imagination and get some light moving through our body. So I want you to place your left hand on your navel, right hand on top. We're going to do 9 powerful breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. So that's phase 1, 9 breaths. We're going to do it all at the same time. I'm going to count with us. We're going to hold our breath at the top. On the 9th breath, 9 is big, and hold. Then we're going to drop the breath down to the belly. And we're going to relax our pelvic floor at that moment. And we're just going to recirculate the energy. We're going to pretend that energy is moving down, out, down, out, down, out. And you're not moving your hands. You're doing it with your mind and your heart and your dantian, these 3 levels of the body. So we're going to just let the energy move down and out, down and out, down and out. Just like that. So those are the first 3 phases. Exhale. Start with your exhale. Exhale. Good. Now do 1 big breath. 1 is big. 2, 3, 4, 5. Warrior's breath. 6, 7, 8. 9 is big. And hold. Now drop it down to your belly and do a slow internal exhale and just go down and out. And as you're exhaling, just imagine a candle flame right here, and you're just moving down and out, down and out. That's it, just like that. Good. Now do 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice the energy in your hands. Feel the prana in your body. Let's do it again. 1 is big. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is big. 9 is bigger and hold. Now do one more big breath in and hold. I want you to lock your pelvic floor, flex the muscle that you urinate with, flex that muscle tight, and draw all the energy, flex in, draw your navel in, and draw the energy all the way up to the brain. Feel the energy moving up to the brain. Flex tight, 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 tighter flexion, hold. Now relax the pelvic floor and drop it down and out. Good. Drop the energy all the way down to your navel, down and out, down and out. Relax your neck and shoulders. Soften your face. Just feel that energy move down to your dantian. Good. Now flex your pelvic floor again. Flex the PC muscle, that muscle that you urinate with. Hold it tight. Draw the navel in. Bring your navel in like this. Flex. Inhale. And relax the pelvic floor and relax your breath. Exhale. Good. Just notice what happens to your upper chakras and your lower chakras when you flex all that energy up to the brain. You might be seeing differently. You might have a little bit more clarity. Good.
You might be yawning.
You might be yawning.
A lot.
Yeah. And when we yawn, it's conflict between our thoughts and our feelings. Upper jaw is conscious mind, lower jaw is subconscious mind and body language. So if you need to yawn, go ahead and yawn, pause the breath and listen to your body tempo, because yawning is releasing conflict. So if you yawn a lot, you need to practice more heart-focused breath, and you need to bring harmony between the mind and the heart. Good. Exhale. Let's do it again. 1 is big. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is big and hold. Lock the pelvic floor. Strong flexion in, draw the navel in, hold. Now imagine a beautiful column of light, silvery light is moving from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown. And as you exhale, relax the pelvic floor and see this energy moving up your spine, all the way up to your crown. This blue, white, silvery energy. And as you exhale, just blow the air out the crown of your head. Blow the energy out the crown. And as your energy leaves the crown of the head, it becomes thousands of stardust, beautiful golden light, like a cloud of stars, golden self-luminous stars, just leaving the crown of your head. Good. Exhale. Bring your hands together, palm to palm, palm to palm, palm to navel. Relax your hips, relax your lower back. Exhale. 1 is big. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is big and hold. Lock the pelvic floor. Draw the navel in. See that silvery ray of energy going all the way up from the base of your spine. Inhale and hold. See that energy spiraling and spinning, silvery, golden, quicksilver light, all the way up to the crown of your head. Hold. Relax the pelvic floor and exhale out the crown chakra and see golden stars, thousands of self-luminous stars just emerging from the crown of your head and filling your entire room with golden light. Imagine this energy circulating from the base of your spine out the crown of your head, like a torus of energy. This golden ray is just moving in you, through you, and around you. And just cleansing out the channels with our breath, opening up the mind, opening up the crown to receive higher frequencies. Just imagine yourself being guided in your life. Your creator, your highest self, is telling you something, is giving you direction right now in your life. Imagine being guided. What are you being guided to do? Listen to this guidance. Listen. What is it? What are you being guided to do right now? What are you seeing right now in your inner vision, in your insight and intuition? That's it. Look right there. In every moment we are guided by invisible forces, by intuition, by insight. What is insight showing you today? What do you see? And breathe into it. Bring light into it. Imagine having it now. Feel this sense of being guided by intuition and insight, and just see yourself having it now. Good. Smile. Smile, smile, smile. Good. Slowly open your eyes. Good. Let's come back to our seats, grab something to drink, hydrate. So we see a lot of wounded and sedated men out there. We call these men the wounded warriors. They're trying to figure out what to say to women, trying to figure out what to say to the world.
Yeah.
They feel anxious, afraid, insecure to ask for what he truly wants. The sedated warrior has been sedating and distracting himself with pornography, food addictions, drugs, and binge watching media, avoiding pain and seeking pleasure, caught in the polarity of pain and pleasure. Maybe this man is getting connection with his woman, but it's not fulfilling and it doesn't seem to pan out, doesn't seem to go where he really wants to go. And this wounded warrior may be secretly terrified of what he is seeking with his woman, which is passionate sex, love, and intimacy. Yet he's holding himself back and he doesn't know why.
Do you identify with any of these?
How
Drop
many
a
of you
one in
men-
the chat box.
How
or
many
raise your hand.
men like have any of this going on in their life? You know, and we're at an epidemic right now, which is why Lewis and I felt our hearts call to start teaching Make Love Easy, because what's the solution to these problems and the crisis that men are facing today? It's 5 dimensions of Make Love Easy. It's becoming a social rock star. It's learning what to say with your woman confidently, clearly. It's living the king's identity and knowing who's the man I choose to become and becoming that man. It's dimension number 3. It's achieving health and vitality and how to build sexual vitality inside you through the 3 treasures of Chinese medicine and Ayurveda. It's using conscious language and conscious communication, when to go deeper in your relationship, using pure speech, the language of your heart, to create life-giving partnerships, to move from codependence into co-empowerment. And dimension number 5 is becoming the confident lover, is becoming that man by deeply connecting to your purpose and penetrating your woman and your world with love, power, and purpose. An average man who's on purpose is way more attractive to women than a handsome man drifting. How many get it? An average man who's living his purpose, successful, adding value to the marketplace, succeeding with a ton of money flowing through his life because his purpose is monetized, is way more sexy to women than a handsome man working at Starbucks. And so if we don't have any one of these, we're not going to have a life-giving, fulfilling partnership with our woman and world. These are 5 dimensions that I've been mastering for 20 years, Lewis for 12 years, and we're here to share them. The wounded warrior transforms into the confident lover. The confident lover leads his woman and his world in 5 dimensions of body, mind, heart, and cock. So by the end of our masterclass today, you're going to learn how your ego is formed and how to shift your focus so you can have everything you desire now and be more effective building the life you love. You will understand the power of your breath, visualization, and imagination to overcome any fear and enter the present moment. How many of you are more present after 9 breath? Yeah.
Yeah, you can take that tool with you, by the way.
Use it. You will learn the power of the wizard's gate and how to enter the king's identity with our superconscious recode. You will remember the power of the moment and where your true creative power lives with your woman and your world. Bold promises, but I know we can deliver on those. It's really powerful stuff. So how does the superconscious form the body, the subconscious, the mind, and the ego? So when we look at our life like a stream, imagine your life is like a river. And here is spirit. This is infinite quantum consciousness. And as soon as we incarnate and enter a body, we begin the formation of memory 2. So superconscious is memory 1. Superconscious creates memory 2, which is subconscious. And age from conception to age 5 is when we form the subconscious mind. And then right around 5 or 6 is when we begin to ask a question, and we'll go deeper into this in our next masterclass. How does the world work? How do I get what I want from mommy and daddy? How do I get the love I want from mommy and the praise I want from daddy? And right at around age 4 and 5, we form the self-conscious mind known as the ego. Now, if we have the right family, the right community, the right mentors, and the right structure, that ego will awaken at around age 16 and 17, and it will start to ascend into our purpose. And the ego will rise into the divine, which is purpose. But most of us don't have that initiation around 16 or 17, so we just keep oscillating our entire life. We're here to change that. You know, every class we do is an initiation. Every dojo we do is an initiation. Every time we help a man up into who he really is, you begin to bring the ego into the divine. And eventually, the ego should become superconscious. It should move from the identity to the instrument, but it doesn't. And so a lot of us just get trapped in these egoic, childish patterns, not childlike, which is innocence, in no sense, childish, not worthy, not good enough. I need to get her approval to be loved by her. You know, these are childish.
Whether mom or the person you're walking up to at a Starbucks.
Yeah. So the ego forms at age 5, and it begins to orient to the world. And we see the world through the ego. So that's important to understand. Now, another way of looking at this, I got this badass new eraser. It's got all these little fluffy things on it. I love it. It erases so much faster. All right, so I haven't taught you this to you guys yet, but this is really cool. My mentor shared this with me. So imagine the superconscious, the self-conscious, and the subconscious are 3 spheres. And this is your self-conscious mind right here. Your self-conscious mind lives in duality. How many knows that looks like a cross? Yeah, cross of Christianity, heaven and earth. And the subconscious is right here. And this is your power without direction. This is direction without power. Your superconscious is up here. This is your superconscious. Gives you everything you want according to what you desire. So there's this like force called polarity. It's like a pendulum. Over here we have hot, over here we have cold. Over here we have pain, over here we have pleasure. And we're just kind of like moving back and forth. Oscillating between this pendulum until we start to activate the subconscious, our power source. And we start to shift it. And right here, this power source for a man is purpose. For a woman is love and intimacy. But this power source is purpose. And we can also see that until we have alignment of the conscious and subconscious, there's a conflict between what we desire and what we think we can have. And there's also this thing called rejection here in this oscillation. So like I'm giving this diagram to understand, why does the ego look for approval and be afraid of rejection? Is because it's living with only 20% of its power, the subconscious mind. When you start to have more power hooked up inside of you, breath, body, nutrition, actions, behaviors, fitness, when you start to power up your subconscious mind, you can take control of this oscillating structure. You move from identity to instrument. So over here with rejection is seeking approval. How many have been seeking the approval of your woman, or seeking praise? So that's the positive, the seeking praise, seeking approval. Over here is avoiding rejection.
Yeah, so these will show up as you getting excited when you get a phone number. Like, oh, wow, look what I did. Or you getting upset when that woman doesn't call you when you call her.
Yeah. Now, both of these are a trap. You don't want to teach your subconscious mind to seek praise or approval or to avoid rejection. You want to get into something called the wizard's gate. The wizard's gate. So I am I feel, I choose. You have 3 levels to yourself. Most of us are just living our lives through this oscillating structure. We're not harnessing the power of the subconscious. We're definitely not using our intuition and imagination to create our woman and world. But like for the men in our program, as you speak your statements of desire, what are you doing? You're speaking out loud to your subconscious. And what did you use? Your imagination. How cool is that?
Yeah, even having clarity on the goal you are pursuing with your woman and declaring it to your subconscious makes you more attractive to women.
Yeah. You can create your relationships inside yourself because there is no outer. There is no other. We think that the world is coming at us, but the world is coming from us subconsciously. You don't attract what you say, you attract who you are. It takes a while, though, to change the subconscious. In the Huna traditions, they would teach their apprentices 10 years, martial arts, swimming, boats, how to control the weather, how to move things with their mind, how to make fish come to you, how to cut off limbs and reattach them and regenerate tissue. That was the kahuna, that was the higher levels of kahuna mastery. And they would spend 10 years teaching the apprentices how to master their lower self, their subconscious, so that when grace was required or miracles were required to perform, they could harness that power correctly, constructively. You can move mountains with the right training, the right subconscious power. You can create miracles in your life when you understand these 3 selves and how to harness them. And it's really important that we understand these things in our life today, because I think we need some miracles on the planet. We create some miracles. So what is the Wizard's Gate? This is how we overcome the fear of rejection, now that we have the basics dialed in.
And this is technically the Wizard's Gate of love.
Yeah. So over here, on the right side, no resistance to circumstance. So over here on the right, we have no, the future is not better. Better than the now. And over here, we have no resistance to circumstance. And I'll unpack these in a sec. No resistance to our outer world or circumstances. So how many times, if we're lonely and we're seeking love and relationship, have you made the future of having your lover better than what you have now? How many have done that?
Mm-hmm.
In this, let's look at it from a place of money or status. In this world of capitalism, we have these smartphones and they show people with money. Everybody can post everything that's positive every day. And your little ego is looking at the smartphone saying, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want more of that, I want more, 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 more. And have you made more money or more status better than what you have right now? Really ask yourself that. Type a 1 in the chat if you have. I have, as an entrepreneur, I made that mistake for 10 years. You know, type a 1 in the chat. If you've made having more status, more success, and more money better than what you have now. It's a trap of capitalism, but it's also a trap of the mind. And it's more insidious today because we have these things called smartphones and social media and capitalism, and everybody's being brainwashed that more is better. The future will be better when we have all electric cars. That's bullshit. When we have all electric cars, there'll be all this trash from the batteries, all this waste we don't know what to do with. You know,
the future will be better when I have sex.
Yeah, the future will be better when I have more sex. And then when you get more sex, you're still not happy because you're making the future better than the now. And our society does not support the Wizard's Gate. It's actually like Neo in the Matrix. When you learn this and master this, you are going to wake up inside a very sick world, a very sick minds. And you're going to become one mind and one heart. And you're going to become a man who penetrates his woman in the moment. A man who can be so present with this woman because he loves the moment so much that she'll be drawn into him. because of the power of his presence and how he enjoys the moment, every moment. If you want something in life and you're projecting that the future will be better when I have it, and you're also desiring it at the same time, but you don't feel worthy of having it, it'll be better when I have it, but then I'm not good enough for it. It'll be better when I have it, but I'm not worthy of it. You're putting out two conflicting vibrations into the field. Am I making sense? Type a 2 in the chat box if that makes sense. You're putting two conflicting vibrations out. And how many of us live this life of conflict, never really having what we truly desire because we haven't been taught this alchemical process yet? Type a 2 in the chat. How many don't want to admit this stuff? Because I'm only seeing a couple of responses. Like, type a 2 in the chat if you're, if you get this, because when you start to give yourself permission to have it all now, to have the love you desire, you can have love now. Doesn't matter where your love life is, you can be loved right now.
What does that mean exactly? Because if you're having it now, clearly you mean it in a different sense than having a woman who you're actually being with.
Yeah. You can, instead of the yearning for your woman because you think it's going to be better when you have her, you can be fulfilled with your love now and take that wholeness and that fulfillment into your dating process. You don't need to be seeking something that you already am. And you can have it from the Wizard's Gate, creating from now, creating from the moment. The problem with most people in the creative process is they're making the future better. And so you could develop all the skills of Make Love Easy. You could develop all these skills of making money. You could go create the sexiest woman of your dreams. But if you didn't appreciate the moment of love, eventually you're gonna fall out of love with her. You're gonna have this woman and it's gonna fall apart because you never appreciated the moment before you started the relationship. So you're always chasing. It's like that carrot that you never catch.
Oh yeah, if you don't appreciate and be present to receive the gift of what is available now, then you never will when you get to the other end of the treadmill.
Yeah. If I don't feel abundant now with the money I have in my bank account, I could have millions of dollars and not feel abundant with that money. This is profound. Like, really get this, what I'm dropping down here, because when I got this, I was like, well, wait a minute. But everyone's taught to make the future better. Everyone's taught that more is better. Our entire society is living that the future will be better when I have this. That all politicians
have goals.
Yeah, all politicians, their whole political campaigns are based on this myth that the future will be better when I get elected, when we solve these problems. So you got to let go that the future will be better than the now. And how do you achieve that? Meditation and getting into the quantum field, getting into the quantum state of consciousness, and then imagination, going from brain coherence into heart coherence, where basically you go from mind to heart and you teach your heart, and your heart doesn't have to be taught, but it's, for lack of a better word, you awaken your heart to the moment. And that woman you want, that success you want, that freedom you want already exists here now. That's the right side. Is that you begin to enter the moment and you begin to, it becomes a gift because they call it the present moment. Every moment is a gift. When I was sitting at that lunch with that commercial broker, we were having this moment where he was talking about higher consciousness, I was talking about higher consciousness. We're talking about real estate, something very just basic and fundamental, very factual and financial and seemingly banal, but we're bringing higher consciousness into it. I was enjoying that moment. I've been launching a YouTube channel. I've done 170 videos in the past 6 months with my VA and my virtual assistant. And there was a time early in our channel where we weren't seeing a lot of results. And we were feeling doubt. We were feeling fear and doubt, like, man, is this working? Is this worth it? Are we doing? Because as an entrepreneur, you have to give a lot of stuff away for free to get a return on your investment. And there was this time we were filming Rough Hollow. We were driving through this beautiful master plan community. And there were these Toll Brothers and Dries homes to our left, $2 million homes with like Spanish tile roofs, Mediterranean look. And I'm like, Murshad, turn left. We get the gimbal, we throw it out of the car, and we're driving down this hill. And we've got the camera, and we're just filming these amazing houses that we will sell one day. And we were in this like panoramic view of just these beautiful homes. And it was the morning sun. It was perfectly cool. It was like July, really hot, but it was cool enough for us to have the windows down. And I was immersed into the moment. And after we had that beautiful little filming, which went into our video, which went into our YouTube channel, I was like, Mershad, this is why we do real estate. It's for this moment. When you're out there courting your women or enchanting your women, every little look and touch and communication, every little moment is the wizard's gate.
Yeah, it's about treasuring your soul touching her soul, no matter how far it goes, where it goes, whether or not it goes anywhere. This is a big part of why I am successful when I'm enchanting, is because I'm just thrilled, over the moon. There is a woman here, and I get the privilege, honor, and pleasure of spending even a single second appreciating her beauty, being appreciated to whatever extent by her. I'm in it. I'm in the wizard's gate.
In the moment, yeah. Takes practice though, because your nervous system is so wired to live that the future will be better. You have to rewire yourself, which is a re-imprint of the subconscious mind to the quantum field, to the imagination, and then to the superconscious. And then you live in the now, and then everything starts showing up. Because you live the wizard's gate. It took me about 18 months of practice. So this kind of awakening doesn't happen overnight. And I'm still getting better at it. It's like mastery is never attainable. You're just mastering mastery. Once you understand the laws of, superconscious, subconscious, and subconscious, the journey is one step at a time, until we literally wake up like Neo in the Matrix. It's the coolest thing. So when you look at the future not being better than now, that's the right side of the wizard's gate. And then the left side of the wizard's gate is no outer circumstance will control you. So the left side over here is no outer circumstance. So when you get rejected by a woman, like if you walk up to a woman and you ask for her number and she's like, no, I'm not interested. When you're in the wizard's gate, that outer circumstance is no longer affecting you. When you have a certain amount of money in your bank account, let's say you get taxed or you have to pay a big bill and that money leaves your bank account, how many of us lose power? When money leaves, how many of us feel weaker or frustrated or sad or yearning for more? In the wizard's gate, there is no loss of power. There is no outer circumstance that affects who you am. You are living at cause. When the pandemic hit, how many of us contracted and got into depression and binge watching Netflix? I launched a Facebook group, brought in 1,200 realtors, launched a 6-week masterclass program, and I was doing lives every week and workshops. I was expanding because I wasn't going to let Lucifer and the dark forces control me when the pandemic hit. So I knew to use my superpowers, which was my imagination and my creative force. I created it. This is what I built during the pandemic. It's all coming true. And I hadn't even learned the wizard's gate yet during the pandemic. But when the economy goes into a recession, is that affecting you? Are you losing power? Or are you creating more value? Are you adding more value? Are you giving more? Life gives to the giver. So many of us lose power based on outer circumstances because we haven't connected to our true power as men. That's why we do the dojo, because you got to learn how to turn pain into fuel if you're going to be powerful. A man who's living his edge can take any outer circumstance, adapt, adjust, and execute, and not sedate, not go into submission. And so there are real practical things we teach in Make Love Easy that help you master this left side in behavior, but you also have to master it first in your mind. You have to understand, am I giving power to the economy? Am I giving power to my bank account? Am I giving power to my woman when she rejects me or doesn't want me? Or am I standing in this gap right here in the middle? This is the gap in the wizard's gate. This is where the wizard knows that at every moment he is the creative power, and that where your focus goes, your energy flows. So in the wizard's gate, the future is not better than what you have now, and there is no resistance to outer circumstances controlling you or affecting you. And if they do, You ask yourself, where's the power in this? If you find yourself being triggered by your woman or your world, just ask, where's the power? Reclaim your power and build more internal power. And go at it again. I recommit until your ego moves from identity to instrument, where your emotions and thoughts aren't controlling you anymore. You're directing your emotions and thoughts. But here's the problem. You're wired to survive. Thriving is a choice. Your central nervous system is wired to survive. We are given egos as containers of learning, but also as containers of survival. You have to choose to thrive with your woman in your world. You have to constantly practice mastery of your focus and direct your energy consciously, and it takes practice. Repetition is the mother of mastery, and repetition is the rhythm of perfection. And it takes however long it takes for all of our men. So we're not rushing you. We're just giving you the principles and the structure and the container. So, is this making sense to everybody? You guys getting this?
Comments, questions?
Questions, comments, observations. Like, unmute yourself. What are you getting from this? From the Wizard's Gate? What are you getting from it? What you got?
Realize it's a lot, y'all. What are you picking up? What do you have a handle on?
Yeah, what are you getting from this?
Abhishek, yeah.
Yeah, I would just like to say that the more we give, the universe always gives us back. So it's, yeah, always a good thing to create more and be, a contributor instead of just expecting things to fall into your lap.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you.
Questions, comments, observations. What are you getting from this?
So what I saw was if you're a man who's actually living from the Wizard's Gate, that makes you more attractive than any other man out there who isn't practicing this, because you're able to deal with and handle whatever circumstances come at you. And you're able to be fulfilled. We like to be around people who feel good. We like to be around people who are happy, and you're naturally going to be happier and more effective than anyone else when you're practicing from the Wizard's Gate.
And as you step into the Wizard's Gate more and more, as you start to appreciate the moments and notice the moment and the power of the moment, and you become more present, you still set goals, you still create your life. You're still a man learning to be a co-creator with God, but you're creating from the moment, not from anxiety. And that's the difference. Most of us as men in life are taught to create from hustle, grind, or from subservience, or from powerlessness and settling. We settle, but when you step into your full power as a creator, from the moment, you have all the power of the universe to create whatever you desire in that moment. And to take it from spirit into matter, from thought into form, may take you 10 years. And that's the alchemical process of going from the imagination to reality. And this is the journey of alchemy that we're all on with our woman and our world.
Amazing rockabilly guitars in it. Ow. So it's night. Stick around.
Let's do a recode. Let's jump into some block removal. So in order for the recode to work, we have to teach you the field and how it works. So here's me. I'm the recoder today. I'm the interface with your superconscious mind. And here's you. Around you is something we call family field. So you're born genetically from mom and dad, sperm and egg. And as soon as that sperm and egg is formed, there's a human field instructing the cells to form. So like you ever look at epigenetics or human development, a lot of the embryos that form, all the embryos that form, the information around how those embryos form doesn't come from inside the cell. It comes from the environment. And the environment is showing those cells how to divide and form a human. And birds of a feather flock together. You know, we're looking at neuroscience and we're looking at quantum physics. We're looking at epigenetics. And all of these things are showing us morphogenetic fields that we're showing us that we live in these field structures. There's a field within a field, within a field, within a field, and it's information informing each other. to create life, to create matter, to create lights, particles, and waves. So you have this family field around you. Inside the family field are certain beliefs about rejection, certain emotional challenges about relationships, all that stuff. All that's can be recoded and upgraded. Here I am in my family field. Here you are in your family field. And then imagine there's like 6 other men and there's 6 other field structures. So when we jump into the Recode today, we're connecting to all of the fields together. And then I'm going to harness the superconscious, and I'm going to start commanding the superconscious to tag and treat all resistance in the perfect order and in the perfect way, and do a massive change history. So with your permission, you're going to give me permission to connect to your field, your own superconscious, and then I'm going to teach your superconscious to cleanse your subconscious of resistance. And this red circle is the superconscious. Now, it has no beginning and no end. It's a quantum state of being. It's all information, and it can be instructed. It can be communicated with, and it can be used for healing. But all the superconscious is doing in this Recode today is clearing the noise of rejection so that you can get into the present moment and create love from there. Does that make sense? That's all it's doing. So this is a very practical, like, useful tool to help. And in order for this tool to work, we had to ask you some questions. So this is where you can write this down. This is a good time to write down some of these answers, because you have resistance around being rejected. And we're going to do something called the double bubble. So I'm going to break it down, and then we're going to unpack all the resistance, and then we're going to do the Recode in those 3 steps. So step 1 is going to explain how this works. It's a very sophisticated block removal. And then 2, we're going to unpack all your active resistance, write it down, type it out, let us know. And then we're going to do the Recode. And so we're going to look at what is the worst case scenario when you get rejected by woman in world. Like, how do you feel? What shows up for you with woman in world? And then on the other side of that, we're going to look at, okay, now that you have the praise and appreciation and approval of women, what are you seeking? Remember the pendulum I drew? You know, we're going for approval or rejection. We're going for pleasure or pain. So we need to unpack that. Like, what are you seeking? And when we do the Recode, we're going to actually teach your superconscious and show and instruct your superconscious to clear all resistance of both fearing the rejection and seeking the approval, and bring you into the moment, the wizard's gate, superconsciously. Y'all ready? Let's do this. Super powerful. So if you get rejected, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Let us know.
Die.
Yeah, write it down. Like, what happens when you get rejected? You need to become conscious of what is unconscious. So if you get rejected by someone, what happens? And type in the chat, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big is that rejection? That fear of rejection for you? 10 being like, wow, I took that totally personally and I'm devastated. And then 1 is like, I can approach the most beautiful woman I want at any time and spark a conversation with her. So where are you right now with the fear of rejection? Type it in the chat. Like, 10 is like, man, this is like devastating. And 1 is like, I don't care about rejection. I'm going to go talk to anybody and everybody and get their number within 30 minutes because I'm a confident lover. So yeah, so where is the fear of rejection for you? 5, 7. You get clear on that number, because that number may change after the Recode. And so, Matt, you're in your head when you say it's situational. Just go into your heart and imagine being rejected by a woman.
Remember what it was like at ATX Food Company when you approached and you had that clump in your body come up? What did that feel like?
Yeah. And what's the worst thing that's going to happen to you, Matthew, when you get rejected? And how do you feel? And type the emotions in the chat, like what shows up for you emotionally. Sahil says self-doubt. So doubt. What else?
Matt says shame, embarrassment.
Shame, embarrassment. Yeah. What are the emotions that come up when you get rejected?
One of the things that comes up for me when I'm rejected or think I've been rejected is fear of impending doom.
Yeah. Fear of the worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now notice as we talk about these things, like you got to go into the fear and visit it. Like if you're rejected, what happens? What's the worst case scenario? Because if you can face that worst case scenario and recode it, then if it ever shows up, you're not triggered by it as much. You can accept it when it shows up.
Fear of being kicked out of the country.
Fear of being kicked out of the country.
Fear of being wrongfully imprisoned.
Yeah. That
For
came up.
approaching the wrong woman in the wrong way.
That came up a few weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah. Fear of being unattractive. Yeah. That's important. So that's a low self-image. Fear of being unattractive is not seeing your true value, your beauty, your handsomeness in your own form.
So like I am not wanted or I am not valued.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sahil mentioned reinforced past rejection. So like bad memories.
Mhm.
Yeah, bad memories.
Like I'm alone. And there's
Yeah.
no point.
In the field, when we go into the field today, I'm going to be able to see your entire Akashic records, all your memories and your emotional and causal bodies. And there are probably some events in your men's life where you got rejected by your mother or your father, and it caused a miniature trauma, and it's preventing you from going out and getting what you want today. You know, or someone at school, in grade school, just like shuts us down for being a bully or for being an ego. And we just took it so personally that it imprinted in us. And that imprint can be cleared through the Recode. And so there are memories that are stored in us that we can clear in the quantum state, and we can just let it go. Can come back to the moment. So fear of being shamed on social media. Yeah, the fear what others think of you. Yeah. And that's a common fear. And it's stored in the subconscious ego. I am what others think of me. Or I am who I am. Sometimes we think too much. We get lost in our thinker. Now, go into seeking praise. Imagine imagine getting all the approval that you want in your world. Imagine getting all the praise that you desire. What are you seeking? How does that feel? Getting approval and praise and compliments. Every ego loves being complimented. Yeah, love, affection, attention. Valued, yeah. Love, valued, affection.
Being seen.
Being seen. This is also a trap of the ego. Being seen. What else? Imagine getting the praise, the attraction, the affection, the attention, everything you ever desired from your world is given to you right now. How does that make you feel? What's the experience? What's the motion, the direction? How do you shift and change? How have you been giving your power to that?
My life is worthwhile.
Yeah.
It's the inverse of the suicidal depression I got when I kept getting rejected in 2014.
Yeah. You're seeking your life to be worthwhile outside of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeking to be approved outside of you. And because everyone lives in polarity and we all have a subconscious mind, you can't count on anybody to give you praise and approval all the time, because the mind is critical and judgmental and the mind is split. And so it's time to let go of this attachment and be who we am, be who we truly are. Because remember, the fear of rejection is a trap, but we also might be secretly seeking praise and approval based on a wounded ego or low self-esteem, and that magnifies our fear of rejection.
Which can often attract the very rejection we're afraid of.
Yeah.
So get all these numbers and they mean nothing. That was exactly what I didn't want to happen. Like, look at me, I am not a failure. I got a phone number, or I got a woman, or I got a date, or I got a makeout, or I got sex.
Yeah, because you can enter the relationship, whether it's brand new, you're meeting her for the first time, or in partnership, or in love and intimacy, and you can really let go of this attachment. And then your woman thrives on praise, but you don't need anything from her to feel loved or pleasure. You're penetrating her with your full presence, and your full desire, and you're conscious because you let go of this attachment.
Abhishek, it says, doubt if the praise is genuine.
Yeah. And that's outside the context of the question, because the question was, imagine getting full praise and attraction. If you doubt you can receive it, that's fine. But we want to help you imagine now that you have it, how does it feel? And what have you been like reaching for?
Powerful, Matt says.
Yeah, powerful. How many times do we go outside of ourselves for these things, realizing that the more I look for it outside, the less I'm really going to have it inside?
Which also implies that you're feeling, to a certain extent, powerless or lacking confidence until you get the result. And oh, now I get to feel that way, making the future better than the now.
Yeah. So now that we visited the worst case scenario and the best case scenario, we can start to unpack and do the recode. Sahil says, insecure that it might be taken away. Too good to be true. Yeah. Yeah, these are beliefs. Too good to be true. Yeah, it's too good to be true for me to actually be acknowledged for who I am. And there's also the fear of loss. Like, love doesn't stay. Love equals loss. Love doesn't stay.
Yeah, Matt says, I'll be like, finally. Yeah, I can hear just the like white knuckle grip on the future will be better than the past, and I'll spend every amount of time and every cent that I can spend to make this happen.
Yeah.
Like, do you see that? Do you see that? It's just increased the making the future better.
Yeah.
Resisting not having the future. I'm turning red as I'm thinking about that.
All right. All right. So every man get comfortable. Let's do a recode. Let's jump into the field and work on this double bubble. So I want you to get comfortable in your chair. As we do the recode today, I just want you to notice what you notice. Just be the observer and the participant. I'm going to be working with layers of the 5 bodies. We have a physical body, we have an astral body, we have a causal body, a mental body, and an etheric body. There are 5 bodies. And these all 5 bodies are touched as we start to do the recode. So you may feel movement of energy, you may feel density, lightness, you may feel expansion.
You may cry, you may burp, you may fart.
Yeah, there's all,
yawn.
and just like I'm not doing anything to you. I'm working with your superconscious to clear the resistance that we brought up today in a very specific and concise and structural way, using the Wizard's Gate as a point of focus and awareness to your superconscious. So let's begin. Close your eyes.
Do we have your permission to connect to your superconscious?
Yes. Yeah. Give me permission to connect with your superconscious.
And do you choose to get the most out of this recode?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Choose to get the most out of this.
Please do not be driving while doing this.
Yes, please be seated. Please be in a quiet place, uninterrupted, so you can go as deep as possible into the field and into your own superconscious mind. So take a couple of deep breaths. Inhale, exhale.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes. Notice what you notice. Be the observer and the participant. Good. Superconscious, are you there? Superconscious, please do all that is required so I connect with you and everyone in the session today and everyone also watching the replay. Superconscious, thank you. Superconscious, please access the soccer field metaphor. Superconscious, please access the family field. Superconscious, please access the Wizard's Gates. Wizard's Gate and the field of the Wizard's Gate in each of us. Thank you. Good. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Choose to get the most out of this and just notice what you notice. Superconscious, please work on all parts, all part-time personalities, all aspects of consciousness for this treatment process. Superconscious, do all parts desire treatment? Superconscious, please tag all men and women in this field. Please tag all parts that don't want treatment, that don't understand treatment, all parts that are afraid of treatment. Ask all part-time personalities if they're willing to connect to the superconscious to reduce pain by 30% and improve satisfaction in the Wizard's Gate. Tell them thank you. Thank you for connecting to the field. And take 3 deep breaths. Yeah, as you breathe in, breathe deeply in into all parts of you, the father and the child, the parent, the teacher, the artist, the technician, the king, the lover. Just feel all parts of you coming together as one, ready to embrace the field. That's it. Take a deep breath in. Superconscious, do all that is required so that all parts can be okay to be treated. Superconscious, tag and treat all parts in all of us today in the correct order, and join them to the main personality, healing all traumas, known and unknown. Do a massive change history here around the fear of rejection and everything that is needed. Thank you. Integrating all parts into the main personality. And so everyone, see yourself standing on a grassy field. You're in a beautiful field. There's mountains in the distance. And you're standing in this field and the sun is shining through the partly cloudy sky. There's flowers all around you. Just see yourself standing in this field. And you can feel the beauty of the sun. You can smell the grass. You can connect to everything around you. Superconscious, tag all active resistance and the active experience to the now moment with being rejected. So what I want you all to do is I want you to choose being rejected. Just imagine you're being rejected right now by someone who really cares about you or someone you're really attracted to. See yourself in that experience of rejection. Choose the unwanted experience. Superconscious, choose that unwanted experience, tag all active resistance to the unwanted outcome. Choose to have it. Tag all the emotions of doubt, shame, embarrassment, bad memories, fear of the worst case scenario, fear of what others think of me, low self-image, low self-esteem, loss, too good to be true, all wounded child archetypal patterns. Tag all active resistance here. Do a massive change history in everything that is needed. And take another deep breath in here. Superconscious, tag the masculine side of everyone watching. Tag the feeling of being inferior, not good enough, not worthy. I can't have what I desire in the masculine. Do a massive change history in everything that is needed. Thank you. Take a deep, deep breath in. Breathe. Good. Superconscious, tag the emotional heart, any and all traumas in the heart around love and love relationships. Tag the original event, the first time the heart was broken. Do a massive change history in the heart and the emotional heart here and do everything that is needed. Thank you. Good. Relax your neck and shoulders and take a deep breath into the center of your chest and imagine a beautiful rose pink ray, a ray of light, just flowing into the heart, correcting all traumas, all wounds, all memories, and all original events. See a beautiful flower, like a beautiful pink rose in the center of your chest. Imagine that rose is blooming. And as that rose blooms in the center of your chest, you begin to see a ray of divine love, unconditional love, radiating love, divine love, just opening up in the center of your heart. As the rose blooms, hundreds of roses start blooming from the bloom, and it radiates out like a spiral, like a fractal of roses, just radiating out, filling the room with the sweet smell of roses and divine love. Take a deep breath in. Just feel the sweetness in your heart. Feel the sweetness of the rose and that rose pink ray. Good. Now I want you to shift your attention to the other side of the wizard's gate. Superconscious, can you see the attachment to praise, appreciation, validation, attraction? Go put yourself in that experience. Attach yourself. See yourself loved, valued, affectionate, being seen, attractive, powerful. Put yourself completely in that experience and attach yourself to it. Superconscious, tag all active resistance to the attachment of praise, love, and validation. Superconscious, can you see that attachment? Tag all active resistance. Do a massive change history to the attachment and everything that is needed. Thank you. Superconscious, tag the conflict between the mind and the heart, not knowing what our true desire is. Resolve conflict here in the mind and heart. Do a massive change history and everything that is needed. Good. Everyone place a right hand over your heart. See yourself standing in the middle of the wizard's gate. You're right in the middle. To your left is the attachment to validation and praise. To your right is the fear of rejection. Superconscious, can you see both sides? Now choose both experiences simultaneously. Choose the seeking of approval and the fear of rejection. Superconscious, please bring everything that has been tagged on both sides into one place. Do a massive change history here and do everything that is needed. Thank you. Good. Notice what you notice here and take 3 deep breaths. Superconscious, is there anything left in the resistance? Please tag any unknown memories, hidden beliefs, emotions, anything that is unwanted in the fear of rejection. Tag all resistance, any remaining resistance here. Do a massive change history in everything that is needed. Superconscious, notice any remaining attachments, both known and unknown. Take a deep breath in here. Breathe in. Touch your heart. Exhale. Let go. Superconscious, tag all any remaining attachments to praise, appreciation, validation. Any and all beliefs of not worthy, not good enough. Seeking worthiness, seeking praise, seeking approval. Superconscious, please magnify and amplify the quality of innocence, wonder, and beauty. Bring this quality into the wizard's gate. Innocence, wonder, beauty. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale. And see yourself standing in the middle of that beautiful wizard's gate, looking to your left and looking to your right and knowing that nothing is there. No push and no pull. See yourself standing in the wizard's gate. All resistance is clear. And you are the powerful creative force of your woman and your world. See yourself standing in the center, looking directly ahead of you. And imagine stepping into this present moment. And how is the motion and direction in the wizard's gate? How do you feel? As the powerful creator of love, knowing your value, giving value, knowing the power of love and giving love, knowing that your heart is magnetic for everything you desire and it comes to you easily and effortlessly, with no attachment, no push, no pull. From this imagined state, right here in the center of the wizard's gate, what are you creating in your life? See it. How do you choose to feel now in this place as the powerful creative force of love, of beauty? Feel the connection What are you creating from this place of personal power and love? Go out 5 years from now, living your life in the moment, enjoying every moment of your life, knowing that you are the powerful creative force, and the life and the woman and the world of your dreams is now made manifest. 5 years from now, what do you see? What's new and different? How are you living? How are you speaking? How do you see yourself in this future reality, this future state of being present, powerful with your woman and world? What's new and different 5 years from now? What are you creating with more than enough? Imagine there is so much love and so much connection in your woman and your world that you can create whatever you desire. And your queen is standing next to you. You can feel the power in her heart and the clarity of your vision, the certainty of your voice. What are you moving into? What's new and different? See it, feel it. What's the color? What are the sounds and the textures? How are you moving in this reality? Every moment, every moment, every moment. Being the powerful creative force. Good. See yourself in this scene like a movie. See yourself walking in this movie. See yourself in a panoramic 360-degree image of you in the Wizard's Gate, creating the life you love with the woman you love, having more than enough time, money, resources. And what are you feeling in this scene? How does it feel to be in the Wizard's Gate every day, to wake up in the moment? How do you feel? Magnify and amplify that feeling. See it and feel it. Let it rise from within you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Reach over to your right, touch your woman's hand. Feel her grip you. Feel her beauty right there. Feel her feminine ray and presence pouring into you. Hold her hand right there. Walking into your dream life, living the life you love, laughing, playing, creating, co-creating the life, the love, the woman, and the world of your dreams. Smile over that. See yourself running through this field of flowers. And the sky fills with purple rays. And the sun, as the sun sets, you see purple light all throughout the heavens. This beautiful violet and purple ray flowing over you and your beloved, washing over your skin, your mind, your heart, your body. You can feel this beautiful purple light, restoring a sense of innocence, connection to your innocence, your intuition, your insight. That any moment from this day forward, I have connection to my innocence, my insight. I can see it. I can choose from this place. Superconscious, do you see this innocence? Magnify and amplify innocence, creativity and wonder. Good. Move your shoulders, rotate your shoulders forward. Just move your shoulders in forward movements. Wiggle your toes. Drop down into your heart. Feel the moment. Feel the moment right now. No push, no pull, no attachment, no outcome. Everything is perfect just as it is right now. And smile. Smile. Smile really big. Good. Superconscious, tag all memories we have touched today, including memories 1, 2, and 3, superconscious, subconscious, and self-conscious. Tag all past memories, all future memories, all quantum and tandem memories. Please ground and anchor these memories into the matrix of the universe and tag them now. And thank you. Good. Slowly open your eyes. let's come back to the huddle. Welcome. You did your first recode. You are now super conscious. And the double bubble.
So looking at your resistance, noticing where it was before, on a scale of 0 to 10.
Yeah,
is it now?
where's your resistance to the fear of rejection now? Type it in the chat.
This could be rejection by your woman, by your world. Definitely at a 0 out of 10. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abhishek is a 4. So you may notice a shift in the resistance. It's a subjective shift. Your homework from today is to keep doing your meditations twice a day, move from once a day to twice a day. And don't think you have to use positive thinking or gratitude or affirmations necessarily to be a wizard. You just need to teach your subconscious mind that you can have it now in feeling. All these other tools you've been given in the personal development community are helpful, but the power is in the feeling and mastering the feeling and practicing the feeling of having it all now until that feeling becomes so powerful that your entire world is reshaped around you. And there's no more conflict. How many get it? Like how many see that that's possible now? Like before there was like, the future is better and I'm never going to have it. Or the future is better when I'll have this, but I'm going to just keep chasing it. And now as you start to do your meditations and teach your subconscious mind that you can have everything you want now, all the money, women, sex, freedom, orgasms, connection, purpose, you can just teach your subconscious mind that you can have it now. And when it lands and the seed has been planted and watered enough, everything in your outer world will shift because there is no separation between your imagination and reality. What you imagine is real. You just have to keep imagining it until it shows up. And the wizard's gate is the point of power through which your choice now comes from presence and not from anxiety or worry or attachment. Do you get that?
Mhm.
Like this is a really important wake up for all of us as men.
Yeah, you're free to create.
You're free to create whatever you want. And your intuition will always guide you. Your intuition won't give you the system and structure. You need a mentor for that. But your intuition will guide you to the right choices. It'll guide you to the right people. It'll guide you to the right structures. All the choices we need to make to get whatever we want in life comes from the superconscious intuition. And we need to come from the moment, from the present moment in creating what we love, not from anxiety or disconnection and yearning. We get to have it all now. Yeah. So that's it. That's all we got for today. We'll do some more recodes in the future.
Mhm.
But this wake up is big. Like for me, when I woke up to this 18 months ago, I realized how much power I'd been giving to the future and how much power I'd been given to money and how much power I've been giving to women and, praise. And, but when I woke up to this in my dysfunctional pattern, I just stopped. But it wasn't like easy just to stop. It took a while because your mind is like a 6th-gear Ferrari and it's been in 6th gear thinking the future will be better, and so you're like, you've been programming yourself. It'll be better when, it'll be better when, it'll be better when. And to slow that pattern down just takes practice, meditation, and enjoying the moment and getting more in the moment and appreciating the moments. And then noticing as you get into that feeling of having it now, the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and then creating from there, your creations start to change. You start to create differently. You start to create more in a more relaxed way. You start to get into a new structure. You start doing the things that you used to avoid doing, and you start doing them because you want to do them, because you realize there's power in them, and you're not like avoiding them out of fear anymore. And it's a very slow, and it's like being in 6th gear and anxiety, and then going down to 5th gear, and then 4th gear, and then 3rd gear, and then when you get down to 1st gear, you're in the moment.
Mhm.
So it may take a while for your mind to slow down and get down to 1st gear. How many get it?
Mhm.
Like, because you've just been moving so fast, hustling and grinding with your woman in your world. And it's our society has programmed this. And so the wizard's gate is the wake up, but achieving it is where the rubber meets the road. So give yourself time. It doesn't take 18 months. I'm just really studied it. and I studied all the different aspects of it, and all the different, you know, ways in which I can be in the moment and appreciate the moment. And then when I got in to the quantum field and into those states of consciousness, it showed up faster and faster and faster and faster. And meditation is the way. But we're not here just to be monks on the monastery and not create something. You know, now is the time in our culture where we can be monks, achieve enlightenment, and be creators at the same time. You know, we can combine these archetypes, you know, of enlightenment and creativity. We don't have to disconnect from society. We can enter our society and create from this place. And that's where I think we're going as a humanity, and with our women in our world, powerfully creating, powerful men creating what we love.
Yeah, I can say I've seen this in seed form blooming and blossoming in me. Actually, as we've been building this community and serving you men, like just a slowing down and an easeful finding joy in just the moment of being in the creation of this masterclass, for example.
Yeah, yeah. The next time you're on a date with a woman, or you're approaching a woman, or you're connecting with a woman, and you have this joy of the moment, she feels that. She wants more of that. Everybody wants more of your joy.
Breakthrough. Treat business the way that you would treat, the way that I would treat
Your
being
woman.
with a woman. Yeah.
Yeah. Your subconscious is your first lover, and it's all an inside job. But it seems like we're doing stuff outside. But
Yeah.
And it's important, because if we want to create something, we have to turn something into form. But it's all an inside job. And that's the paradox of alchemy and the creative process, is that we think we're doing stuff, and we are, but it's from a place of being in the wizard's gate that all things come to us.
Yeah, there's no pressure being applied to the outside.
Yeah, no push, no
There's
pull.
flow moving through us.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are things to learn. There are things for your ego to learn. You will get rejected in the future. You will feel fear in the future. You will be triggered in the future, but you have more poise and power because you've been taught the wizard's gate. You know what the goal is, where the lesson is, where the new level of being is. And so, and every morning for 30 minutes to an hour, I'm in the wizard's gate. You know, I connect to the field, I go into my heart, I get what I want, and I give myself permission to have it all now, and then I go create it from there. Brain coherence to heart coherence, into the gate, into creation, and then to having lots of women in your life and lots more joy and fulfillment and creativity, because that's what we're here for.
Did you almost say moist pink abundance?
No.
Okay,
but
good.
You can say it.
But I did. All right.
Lots of moist pink abundance.
Lots of love and touch and sex and connection.
Yeah.
So let's check in with you, men. Like, I want to hear, what was your biggest takeaway? And I'd love to hear from all of you. Feel free to drop in the chat box or come off of mute. I saw Matt. Let's
what was your biggest takeaway from the Wizard's Gate today?
And or the Recode. This is one of the first Recodes I've seen you go through that you ended up at a 0.
Yeah, that was powerful, man. Good work, Arttemis.
Thank you.
Double bubble gets me every time. Chris Duncan actually did it with me. It was a group call, and I purged also, which gets me. Rejection. Yeah, I imagined when we were doing that, I imagined everyone rejecting me, like my parents not wanting me to be their child anymore, both of you rejecting me, like kicking me out of the program, no refunds, terrible student, all my friends leaving me, like all at the same time, and
right on, man.
Felt just like a deep loneliness. I was like, oh, that's like the deepest fear.
Being alone.
Yeah, being alone. And I didn't put that there. I was like, okay, that's an insight.
Yeah.
Getting chills. This is incredible.
Yeah.
And
so
then
now you know connecting with others is an important part of your power. Your superpower is connection. To get yourself out there and give your gift to the world.
Yeah, we all want connection, man. We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, the other side was good. Just a lot of yawning. Couldn't stop yawning, and then went to go purge. And that was it. I moved a lot of energy. It was good stuff.
Badass. Yeah, I knew that this would be impactful for you. That's why I stood so strongly for you to be here.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice.
Sweet.
Who else? Questions,
Who
comments?
else would like to share?
Comments, observations.
We literally have one of our men from the 6-week program messaging us about his breakthroughs. He's been out there talking to women during this whole training.
Yeah,
Rashad.
I love it.
Carlos, I'd love to hear from you. What was the experience of the Recode like for you?
I think for me, really, it was just more of the being more in the moment aspect of what you guys were kind of communicating to us. I think that's really a big, there's almost like a sense of freedom that comes from that if you can kind of just stay in that mind frame. I know it's hard to do and I know it takes practice, but just outside of that, I mean, it's like you're saying, it's the bigger picture. It's not just approaching women, but it's just kind of how you're creating your world in general. I think from the big picture aspect of it, that was very enlightening for me. And just that alone there, it sounds very simple, but it's yet so powerful. And that's what really resonated with me on today's video.
Super cool, brother. Glad to have you back. Glad to have you here again.
Yeah, great to have you here. What else? Jason, Sahil, anyone? How was your experience with the Recode?
Sahil, go ahead.
It was interesting. I think I might have gotten a little sleepy in the middle.
Perfect.
There was some interesting imagery that was popping up when you were saying the stuff. When talked about releasing the past rejections and stuff, it was kind of like there were these thousands of TV sets playing all these videos, and then suddenly they went blank, which was nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was your own superconscious showing you what was happening from your own perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had so many recodes that were just weirdly trippy and so strange imageries and colors and dreamlike. It's common.
It's all memory. It's all memories, being recoded. So that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is this? So the double bubble, is this kind of similar to, in a way, kind of surrendering? Is this, or no? What is the?
Absolutely. Yeah, the double bubble is a structure, a framework from which the Recode can go in and release attachment to both sides, come back to the center, which is an aspect of surrendering, but it's also helping the student clear the memories of pain, trauma, and attachment that we hold on to. So that from this day forward, when we're practicing the Wizard's Gate, we don't have so much weight, and the superconscious will only clear to the degree and the willingness of the student, and it doesn't clear everything at once. It doesn't, because the student still has lessons to learn. The student still has things to create from different patterns. And so it only, if there's a boulder in the way, it won't remove the entire boulder. It'll chip away at it to allow change to happen more slowly and gracefully. So
yeah, it's like if somebody had a tumor, their whole body forms around that tumor. If you just remove it, it may leave them dealing with injury or something.
Yeah, so the principle is the superconscious is self-intelligent and knows exactly what to do in the perfect order and the perfect way, and it does what needs to be done so the student can step into their power and create from that place again, from that new state of consciousness. So I can't do too much or too little with you in the Recode. I just know where to put my focus. And for you, all those television screens were memories. Letting go. And takeaways for you, like what else did you get from this today? What are you going to do differently in your woman or your world?
I just becoming more, I guess, every time I go out there and trying to just balance, center myself before going, trying anything. Is instead of wanting the approval or fearing the rejection, just go into this. It's kind of like, it's very similar to what I've done consciously, but it works really well when I can do it properly, but not all the time. Every time I've gone, something major and amazing has happened in my life is always when I became okay with the alternative from what I wanted.
Yeah.
It's like something really badly, it's not happening, and then I make peace with the alternative, and I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine if I have that too. And then suddenly that thing just drops into my lap, that I've been wanting.
Yeah.
Right.
So good.
it happens so many times. It's just it's unbelievable. And at this point, I'm like, that's just the way the universe works. So this is kind of balancing yourself in that it's a different framework for, I guess, balancing yourself to achieve that, right?
Yeah, what you want, go ahead, sorry. What you want wants you when you don't want it too much.
Makes no sense to the mind.
Yeah, I have found this so often in business. I'll get it. In the past, I affirm, have gotten into spaces where like I'm really wanting the thing, and I feel like there's all this stuff I've got to do to get the thing. But really, it's just waiting for me to settle down and relax and receive, and to stop making the future better, and to stop resisting not having the thing and doing all the things that I think I need to do to have the thing.
Yeah.
Just be already having the thing, and then do what I would do if I already had the thing. Does that make sense? Was that cool?
Basically, all of us get to play a much bigger game in life in the Wizard's Gate. We've all been playing too small with our woman. And in the Wizard's Gate, you can play a much bigger game. And that's what I invite all of our men to do. I'm doing it with my woman in my world, multiple women. And I'm also doing it in my real estate business. I'm doing it in my marketing. It's like when there's no more attachment and I'm in the gate, then there's infinite potential for creativity. There's no resistance anymore. So I empower all of you men to play a much bigger game. If you have a goal with a woman, go get it, but don't be attached to it. And that's the paradox. Play a bigger game. And that was the message that the Superconscious gave me through my dreams 2 nights ago. I've been doing a dream journal and just observing my subconscious through the dream master. And the message I got was, it's time to play a bigger game. All of us, and really step up. And proximity is power. We can't do this alone. That's why we're creating the men's group here in Austin. That's why we're connecting and doing these things together, because we need to have the support of other men playing those bigger games and getting feedback and seeing what it looks like, sounds like, feels like,
For example, the Enchanters meetup tomorrow at Cosmic Cafe.
Yeah. And the Edge Dojo on Sundays. These are all men playing bigger games, leading, with energy, discipline, guidance, execution. Like, never forget that you are guided. And every day when you do that Quantum King meditation, look for the guidance. Sometimes I have a journal next to me when I'm doing my meditations. I just get these downloads. I just write them in the journal, go right back into a silence. Because you might be getting things in your morning meditations that are whisperings of the soul to start playing that bigger game that ego has kept you from, And so do that, do your journaling, do your meditations, and then go and take massive action. Because behavior is the highest form of communication. It's not fake it until you make it. It's be it until you see it, and make sure you're doing the behaviors, which is why we have the accountability worksheet. Yeah.
And thank you, Sahil.
Yeah. Thank you, Sahil. Yeah. That was really cool, man. The whole television. It's always fun to see what people see in the Recode. Everyone sees something different.
Jason, Rick, final thoughts before we move to conclude. Jason.
Mine was a bit of a different experience. I felt a little too relaxed, and then eventually I think I fell asleep. And then by the time I woke up, it was close towards the end. I was like, oh shit.
Well, FYI, that's common and that's perfect. And that's actually a very, very good sign that your body and your mind are responding perfectly, like giving you exactly what you can receive consciously.
If you're sleeping during the Recode, you might get a better Recode. Yeah, because it goes right into your subconscious. You just went, you just went into a other than conscious state, which is exactly what you needed to get the most out of it. So right on. Yeah.
Last but not least, Rick.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for experiencing the Wizard's Gate. It is a big wake-up call. Practice it, experience it. Where the rubber meets the road is the meditations, the presence, the noticing what you notice. When you do see for yourself losing power based on outer circumstances, build more power in your body through fitness, build more power in your mind through breath, and go back and take charge of your life. Yeah, and start creating.
And who would like more like this?
Yeah.
More superconscious recoding, healing work. Okay, great. I will make sure to email you with our next event. A week from tomorrow is the Make Love Easy Masterclass on Ego Rising. which is the one we mentioned just at the very beginning. And then tomorrow's the Enchanters meetup.
Yep,
So hope to
come
see you
join
there.
us.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, gentlemen. Thanks for gathering tonight. Over and out. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.